Today I'm going to give you a quick tutorial about how to draw the 4 types of externalities. So we're starting off with a negative externality in production. So the fact that it's on the production side means that there's going to be some sort of external cost. So we always start off with a market graph. So we got supply, we got demand, and we have the private benefit and private costs of producing and consuming. So the idea is that on the supply side, there's some cost to the producer. They got to hire the workers, they have to pay for the ingredients or the inputs for the products, and so they incur costs themselves. And on the consumers, they benefit. That's why they're consuming the good. So to themselves, they enjoy whatever it is. So in this case, when we talk about pollution, there is a benefit to producing of the goods that are produced by factories that emit pollution. So consumers want those goods even though that it pollutes a little bit. However, we're noticing a market that's inefficient. It's not taking into account the negative externality that is placed on society of having smog, which would lead to health care costs and health defects and other problems. So since there is no external benefit, the social benefit is equal to the private benefit, as society doesn't benefit or get hurt by that on the demand side. We notice the negative externality in production, the idea that there is some sort of external cost. So society incurs a cost as well, external to the private cost of producing those goods. So what society notices is that, the price socially optimal is greater than the market price, but really what we notice is that society wants less production of goods that create a negative externality like pollution. This market is not fixed. We're just simply looking at the market before government intervention and noticing the fact that society wants less than the market gives us. So the deadweight loss triangle is always from the quantity the market produces and the socially efficient point. So for the 2 negative externalities, that triangle is going to point to the left. Again, this market is currently inefficient. Government could make this more efficient by taxing, for example, pollution or other of the pollution fixes. But the idea is that this market is currently inefficient. The market quantity is not the same thing as allocative efficiency, which is when the marginal social cost equals the marginal social benefit. So this is what society wants, but this is what the market provides, so therefore there's an externality. So with the second one, a negative externality in consumption, so this would be like the market for cigarettes. In this case, the cost of production are contained. There's no external costs to producing. Producing cigarettes do not emit very much externality, so we just simply say that there's no external cost. However, society notices a marginal external benefit. In this case, it's a negative benefit, but the social benefit is not equal to the private benefit. So when I smoke, I benefit because I wanted to and I enjoy it. And there's a cost of producing those items. They got to pay for the tobacco, the workers, the factories, etc. So in this case, the social benefit is below private benefit because you are harmed when I smoke around you and your healthcare costs that you may incur down the road. So while you didn't pay for the cigarette and you don't benefit from the consumption of it, you are harmed by it. So once again, society wants less than the market's currently providing. Now, the market will never produce QSO by itself, so that's why government can entice by regulating, by taxation, and other things. And once again, the deadweight loss triangle will point to the left because society wants less. So the idea is the market produces this quantity and the socially optimal point, or allocative efficiency point. So there's my welfare loss triangle. On to the positive externality. So this one we're going to say is a consumption externality that's positive. So like the market for education. So you benefit when you go to school, and the school incurs costs. So in this case, the costs are contained. So once again, the social cost is equal to the private cost. But there is an external benefit because when you receive an education and more students receive an education, society benefits beyond your own benefit. So you get a better paying job, that's great, private benefit. You get a degree, great, private benefit. You become a productive member of society, external benefit. MSB. So now our socially optimal point is there. Our socially optimal quantity is there. So society is saying we're willing to give up more resources, a greater price, in order to get more education. So, just like our other externalities, deadweight loss comes from the quantity the market produces and the socially optimal point. So my welfare loss triangle ends up here. Alright, in the home stretch. So one more externality, the positive externality in production. So the example here is the research and development or new technologies that the firms create. However, that leaks into other industries and makes for better production for others as well. So the benefits are contained of those goods. So the social benefit equals private benefit equals demand, all that's the same. We still have our market currently, but in this case there's an external cost that is good. So marginal social cost is greater than the private cost. So we notice once again, like our other positive externality, that society wants more research and development. They want more technological innovations because that's going to be better for everyone. So here's my socially optimal price. And once again, my welfare loss triangle comes from the quantity the market produces and the socially optimal point. So there's my welfare loss triangle. And to summarize all of these, again, the market quantity is what's currently being produced without any sort of government intervention. So we have to kind of peel back the layers on that and states like for education, society wants more. Now, government has already put those fixes in place. They already have subsidized education through tax dollars. But we have to look at the market first as a market that society wants more, and then the government can make things more efficient and provide those subsidies to produce more education. But we're simply at first looking at the markets like this one, noticing that society wants more, however, the market is what is currently being produced. So in this case, research and development technology would be inefficient on their own, and government then helps to fix that in the positive externality side by subsidizing especially. And the negative externalities of production and consumption, the government tends to tax, regulate, ban, advertise those goods or those markets so that way less quantity is provided, which is what society wants in negative externalities.